that tell. What? Eh? Just ain't done nothing now. Too much reverse energy. I was having some mixed with kush. I was smoking back, so the PM won't lock it down. The PM won't lock it down. Go take it on. Go take it on. No carnival. Go take it on. Go take it on. Go take it on. Go take it on. No lockdown. Go take it on. Go take it on. No hole all on the street, but you know we have it. Stack up in the bucket from since 2019. Say now. No carnival, they don't want us to play. I see. They're really trying to smile it too big. But we tell our walk, we go drink up thing and one thing. We tell our walk, we go drink up thing and one thing. We tell our walk, we go drink up thing and one thing. We tell our walk, we go drink up thing and one thing. Just ain't done nothing now. Too much reverse energy. I was having some mixed with coach. I was smoking by myself. The PM won't lock it down. The PM won't lock it down. Go take it on. Go take it on. No carnival. Go take it on. Go take it on. Go take it on. Go take it on. No lockdown. Go take it on. Go take it on. All we want is a little freedom. The whole of my man shit friends in the studio. Stand the ground nice for my people. I'm busy by my artists, my people run up and down. But we tell our walk, we go drink up thing and one thing. We tell our walk, we go drink up thing and one thing. We tell our walk, we go drink up thing and one thing. We tell our walk, we go drink up thing and one thing. I just ain't done nothing now. Too much reverse energy. I was having some mixed with coach. I was smoking by myself. The PM won't lock it down. The PM won't lock it down. Go take it on. Go take it on. No carnival. Go take it on. Go take it on. Go take it on. Go take it on. No lockdown. Go take it on. Go take it on. We tell our walk, we go drink up thing and one thing. We tell our walk, we go drink up thing and one thing. We tell our walk, we go drink up thing and one thing. We tell our walk, we go drink up thing and drink up thing and drink up thing. We tell our walk, we go drink up thing and one thing. We tell our walk, we go drink up thing and one thing. Yeah, you know we tell our walk, we go drink up thing and one thing. We tell our walk, we go drink up thing and drink up thing and. Just ain't done nothing now. Too much reverse energy. I was having some mixed with coach.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. Welcome to the night shift to DJ Kevin Stewart's Healthy Love Night. Kicking off things tonight with the sound of Double Standard. Shot called Don't Take It On. But guess what? I can't help myself, I have to take it on. So, I want to say big ups to everyone locked in right now. Welcome to Healthy Love. Big ups to you wherever you're locked in from, whether it be TuneIn Radio on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Big ups to you. Those hailing from across the pond, the One Harmony Radio, top of the morning to you guys over there in the UK. Big up King Genius, big up Queen Genius, much love to you. Much love to those out at NIE Radio in New Jersey. Motivate and family. Big ups to those out of New York. Island worldwide, exhibiting the power of music. Those locked in via ClintonLindsay.com, the Foundation Radio Network. Big ups to you. Hey Sharon, how you doing? How's the weather over there in OK? Is it okay? In OK?
All we want is a little freedom.
Big ups those who are locked in out of Texas. All up Radio Music Media Group. WGLRO, home of the Donny Walker Morning Show. The People Station, taking from the sheets to the streets. Touching from Denmark to Detroit and all points in between. Big ups to you, Donny. Those locked in on Facebook Live, those locked in on Clubhouse, welcome. Listen, I'm encouraging you guys to join the club if you're locked in on Clubhouse, or if you hang around in Clubhouse. Join the club. It's called the Stew Pot. Big up to those who are locked in on Facebook Live. Remember, it's only a segment broadcast. You guys over there in Clubhouse also. But use the link that is pinned in the comment section. It takes you to kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment. Of course, big ups to those who are locked in on kevinstew.com. Big ups to the PEMG TV family. Much love to you. I want to say big ups to the segment sponsors. Policy Media Group and Being in the Moment is priceless. Go ahead and give them a call. 754-999-1140. What can they do for you? Everything you see here on kevinstew.com and more. You have a church service, a wedding, a funeral, a party, a seminar you want to stream live on a secure platform, whether your own platform or someone else's, could be Paul's platform. Go ahead and give them a call and find out how they can arrange that for you. 754-999-1140. I want to say thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea is a licensed massage therapist that comes to you, operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties. Give her a call, 954-655-9000, or email her at thealater@att.net. That's THEALATER @att.net. She only has one request outside of paying her, that you get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done. Because I always fall asleep. I want to say big ups to Reggae Global Entertainment. Reggae Global will act as your booking agent, handle your tour management, your legal service referrals, business registration, music production, marketing and promotion, and so much more. Go ahead and check them out, reggaeglobal.com. Thank you, Reggae Global. Much love to McNeil Trucking. They're licensed and insured movers. Reach out to them, you want to move from here to there. Give them a call, 954-406-9740. You don't have to be afraid to do it, just call them up. Tell them you heard about them on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Big ups McNeil Trucking. With McNeil Trucking, you're in good hands.
All we want is a little freedom. All our man shit, and this freedom.
Yeah, man, all you want is a little freedom to do what? All our mates. Easy to run up and down. How about to feed your child safely? How about that? You want the freedom to do that, right? You want the freedom to get your child a healthy start in life. I don't know how many of you heard about it, but hey Jen, a baby died recently. You'd think that something that is used to sustain life would not be the thing that would take it, but here it is. You have a baby dying as a result of infant formula. Welcome to Healthy Love. You are encouraged to participate in the Stew Pot. If you're wondering what the Stew Pot is, it's what others call a chat room. But because we're fancy on kevinstew.com, we call it the Stew Pot. It's where we keep things interactive and bubbling. So just go to kevinstew.com. You don't need to register. You don't need to offer your firstborn. Hopefully you still have your firstborn. You don't need to offer your firstborn an internal organ, a blood sacrifice, nothing like that. Just go to kevinstew.com and you're there. You can remain anonymous, or you can put your name so that I know who I'm interacting with. Also, the phone line is open, 773-789-STEW. That's 773-789-7833. 7839. You can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp, you can Telegram, all those ways to get in touch. But definitely I want you to call in and interact directly. All right. The number, once again, scrolling across the bottom of your screen, 773-789-STEW, 773-789-7839. That's 773-789-7839. All right. So it's Healthy Love, where I call this broadcast tonight Formula for Infant Death. Now, this is not the first time we're addressing something relating to food and staying healthy. We talk about it all the time on Healthy Love. It's one of the things that we address regularly, right? We've looked at serial killers. Yeah, being food, cereal. Yeah, not the, well, I guess it could be the cereal with the S, but it's a cereal with a C. We've looked at that in the past. But here it is, something that we've talked about before. How important it is for mothers to be breastfeeding. And it only takes one, It only takes one. And one is too many. So a baby who used Abbott's Similac PM 6040 contracted a Chronobacter Sakazaki infection and died. Now, I don't know how many people are familiar with Chronobacter Sakazaki. We're going to look at that a little bit later on. But if anybody has any information I want to share about it, go ahead. Feel free. Those of you on Facebook Live, you can go ahead and put your comments there. Let's talk. If you're listening on Clubhouse, go ahead and raise your hand. I can bring you in, and you can talk as long as we are on this broadcast here. But some bullet points here, as according to MSN.com. Abbott Nutrition recalled the lot, adding to the formulas under investigation by CDC and FDA. Chronobacter can cause severe, life-threatening infections, meningitis, and other complications. Now, we're gonna look, like I said, a little bit later on at Chronobacter Sakazaki, just a little bit more. But right now, let's see what the article says, as according to MSN.com. They're saying Abbott Nutrition recalled another lot of powdered baby formula after a Michigan baby who used it contracted a serious infection and died. The Food and Drug Administration announced in an update on Monday. Now, Monday being February 28th. So, this is hot off the press. Fresh information. The formula Similac PM 6040 with the lot code 27032K80 for cans and 27032K800 for cases expands the list of recalled formulas, all manufactured at Abbott's Sturgis, Michigan facility. On February 17, the company recalled select lots of Similac, Alimentum, and Elicare formulas. The recalls are related to 4 reports of Chronobacter Sakazaki infections and 1 salmonella infection that resulted in hospitalizations. The Chronobacter infections may have contributed to death in 2 patients, according to the FDA. Now, it gets more interesting, but that alone lets you kind of scratch your head and wonder, wait, how is it that this got out? How was it that this bacteria, this virus, this disease ended up inside this formula? Well, along with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the agency is investigating the cases and advising parents not to use the recalled formulas, not to dilute or make their own formula, and not to buy imported formulas. We understand that infant formula is the sole source of nutrition for many infants and is an essential product, says the update says. FDA is working with Abbott Nutrition to better assess the impact of the recall and understand production capacity at other Abbott facilities that produce some of the impacted brands. We value the trust parents place in us for high quality and safe nutrition, and we'll do whatever it takes to keep that trust, Abbott said in a statement to CNN. Now, I don't know if their statement is enough to regain the trust of those that are purchasing these formulas. And I don't know if it should be, because I'll go back to something that we talked about on several occasions. Why is it that we're giving babies formula when their mothers produce exactly what they need? Naturally, the mothers are producing milk. So what is happening to the breast milk that the mothers are producing while they're feeding them formula? Why are these mothers using formula instead of breast milk anyway? And so these are the questions that come to my mind. I don't know what comes to your mind, but these are the questions that come to my mind, because if we're going to be investing in our greatest resource, there is no resource on the planet like human resource. It's what keeps everything going. You have a business, but you don't have any human beings to operate in the business. How is your business going to thrive? Whether it is you're a sole trader, but you still need individuals because you're selling a product or a service. Who is going to be using that product or service? The buildings? Are they the ones that are going to be paying you? No. So our greatest resource, no matter how you slice it, is human resource. And if we're depleting that resource, we're killing off our children at early stages in life, where are we going to go? What's going to be left? So Chronobacter, for those who are not Corona Bacter, but Chrono, Cronobacter, Chronobacter, the bacteria the latest baby was exposed to, can cause severe life-threatening infections, meningitis, bowel damage, and may spread through the blood to other parts of the body. While the recalled formulas have the potential to be contaminated with the bacteria, Abbott said no distributed product has tested positive for its presence. So, one, why recall it? Two, how did it get out? How did this bacteria get into this baby formula? How is it that they can be linked, the bacteria and the formula? And where else did this formula go? Bum bum bum. Is it just here in the US? Well, no. So, according to the FDA, and if you check fda.gov, you can find information on this. There's an article there. There's some information there titled FDA Investigation of Chronobacter and Salmonella Complaints, Powdered Infant Formula, February 2022. The information is there. I'm looking at the information right now. I'm going to give you some of the information. The FDA, along with CDC and state and local partners, are investigating consumer complaints and or reports of infant illness reported to products from Abbott Nutrition's Sturgis, Michigan facility. All of the ill patients are reported to have consumed powdered infant formula produced from Abbott's Nutrition's Sturgis, Michigan facility. Getting tongue-tied. So, okay, that's the connection. Tie it back to this particular facility producing formula. First question. Is there anything different at this facility versus any of the other facilities in this organization that produce the same thing? What is different? Because if everything is the same, then potentially you have this issue coming out of any of the other facilities that Abbott has. As of February 28, CDC has announced one additional illness of Chronobacter sakazaki with exposure to powdered infant formula produced at Abbott Nutrition Sturgis, Michigan facility. Chronobacter infection may have been a contributing cause of death for this patient. In total, this investigation includes 4 reports of Chronobacter sakazaki infections in infants, 3 from FDA complaints and 1 from a CDC case finding, and 1 complaint of a Salmonella Newport infection in an infant. All 4 Chronobacter infections, 1 Salmonella. All 5 illnesses resulted in hospitalization, and Chronobacter may have contributed to death in 2. The most recent patient was reported to have consumed Abbott's Nutrition's Similac PM6040 product prior to Chronobacter sakazaki infection. FDA and CDC informed the firm of these findings, and on February 28, 2022, Abbott Nutrition voluntarily recalled Similac PM6040 powdered infant formula with the lot code 27032K800. This is a specialty formula for certain infants who would benefit from lowered mineral intake and was not included in the previous recall. At this time, Similac PM6040 with lot code 27032K80, which is one in the cans, and 27032K800, which is in the case, are the only type of lots of this specialty formula being recalled. Now, what is so different from this lot? What makes this lot different from any of the other lots being produced from these facilities? What? And to think, this particular formula is a specialty formula. So this one works for, what did they say? Would benefit infants for certain infants who would benefit from lowered mineral intake and was not included in the previous. So this formula was specially created for those that require less minerals. Now, I don't know what would make an individual require less minerals from the recommended amount. And now we're talking about the nutrition of the parent, the nutrition of the child during the fetal stages. Why would an infant benefit from lowered mineral intake? So our children are now coming into this is how I am processing it. Our children are coming in already sick. They're entering the world sick. So off the bat, we're having to medicate them and give them specialty formulas. Because a few years ago, this really wasn't an issue. Not as far as I know. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Those of you in nursing, those of you in pediatric care, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But come on. This is crazy. So here we are creating these formulas which supposed to be a replacement for breast milk. There's nothing that can be a replacement for breast milk. You check out every mammal on the face of this planet. The very first thing that they get, nutrition wise, is their mother's milk. Every animal. Why should we, as human beings, allegedly the most intelligent of the lot, deviate from something so basic? Why? For the almighty dollar? Because that's what it boils down to. Here it is, a mother cannot stay the time that is required for her to properly provide nutrition for her child. Why? Because she needs to go back to work. Why? Because the bills are due and the system is not set up in such a way that that can happen, that mother can take care of child. You cannot look at this in any way, shape, or form as just this isolated thing. It cannot just be, here it is, the baby formula issue. And that is where it stops. No. Because it goes deeper than that. It is very much systemic. So here it is, you have the FDA talking about the recall. And they give a recommendation, they're like, the FDA is advising consumers not to use recalled Similac, Alimentum, or Elicare powdered infant formulas. Recalled products can be identified by the 7 to 9 digit code and expiration date on the bottom of the package. Products are included in the recall have all three items. The first 2 digits of the code are 22 through 37, and the code on the container contains K8, SH, or Z2. And the expiration date is 4122, as in April 22 or later. In addition to the products described, Abbott Nutrition has recalled Similac PM6040 with a lot code, and I gave the code before. At this time, Similac PM6040 in the can and the case are the only type of lots that have been recalled for the specialty formula. Additional recall information for the initial recall is available on the FDA website. You can check that out. Anybody that is listening to this, you can check it out. The information is there. I'm just relaying it to you. Now, the CDC also had something to say. Now, I'm going to touch on this before I go take a break. The CDC says on February 28th, Abbott Nutrition recalled Similac PM6040 powdered formula. To find out if the product you have is included in this recall, review product lot code on the bottom of the package and enter it on Abbott Nutrition's website. So they're doing, I guess, some damage control, right? And providing you with a way to find out if what you potentially have to give to your child could be dangerous. But again, what makes this lot different from the other lots? Do they create a batch and then clean down the whole factory production area and start afresh? How do they differentiate the batches? So, what do we know about Chronobacter? Well, we're going to find out when we come back from the break. One thing that I can say, it causes rare but serious illness in infants. Now, is it because it's rare why we're taking chances? Is it worth the chance? And if you happen to be the one that your child is in that rare bracket and happens to get sick, is there any recourse? What kind of care can you get? Do you get help with funding that care? How does that go? And, you know, if your child passes away as a result, how that go? Because no amount of money can replace your child. Does business go on nonetheless? It's business as usual. What happens at that point? We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we talk some more. We look at what Chronobacter Sakazaki is and some more information as it relates to this recall. Call your friends, tell your friends, friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too, because we're not leaving them out. This information is for everybody. Call them up. Share with somebody. You know, tell them, come on over to kevinstew.com, because he's talking about this infant formula recall. Have you heard about it? Let's talk about it. What do you know about it? You may not have an infant, but chances are you know someone who just did, is going to, or planning to. And they need to know what it is that they're getting into. I'm so happy that my children are past formula stage. But they're not out of the woods, because the food that we're being provided with is still dangerous. We have genetically modified food left, right, and center. We have food rich in high fructose corn syrup. We have food rich in heavy metals. So our children are not out of the woods. Neither are we as adults. But for tonight, we're looking at formula for infant death. In this case, the recalled formula, Similac 6040. We'll be right back after these messages. Facebook Live, Clubhouse, this is where we part company. Catch you tomorrow, same time, same place, kevinstew.com, 10 p.m. Eastern for Real Talk. But tonight continues with Healthy Love. Come on over, kevinstew.com. We'll be right back.
Pulse Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulse Media Group.
Smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Imagine having our own Caribbean Center.
Imagine a museum highlighting our history and the contributions of Caribbean people to the world.
Imagine being able to visit and learn about the islands we call home.
In a place where our kids can see and feel their cultural heritage. You can make this vision come to life.
Help us create this first of its kind space
that all Caribbean people can be proud of. Your contribution to Island Space Caribbean Museum will help this dream come true.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe and donate today.
Reggae Global Entertainment presents the brand new self-titled album from Yishka with 9 great songs. Oh Baby Let Me Love You. Be Grateful for Life.
Be grateful for life.
Shake You Down.
Girl, I wanna shake you
What else can I do?
What else can I do?
Babe, Come Over.
Baby, come over.
My. It's our time.
You know I love you.
For your love. I'm falling. Yishka. 9 great songs. Available on all streaming platforms. Available now.
Hey, I'm representing for DJ Kevin Stew, working on the night shift radio show. Won't go changing like the weather, just to please the devil never. Will DJ Kevin Stew sell his soul? That's a word and honor. It's Christine representing word and honor. Selassie DJ Kevin Stew.
It's been a long time coming. Are you ever gonna change? Are you ever gonna take advice for how I'm feeling? It's been a long time running, and I know you wanna stay. So I think that it is time we live like we used to. Right all around the city, singing with the top down. Let's take it back to when we were younger. It's been a long time coming, so put on a happy face. Grab my hand so we can let all of our troubles out. There's no care tonight. Take me for a ride. Even when the stars have a light, even when it's dark and you lose your mind. Whoa, whoa, right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I will stay in the madness with you. Oh, now you're so crazy. Oh, I'm crazy too. Right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I will stay in the madness with you. Baby, don't you worry, 'cause you know I understand what it's like to be chewed up and spit out in the cold world. Baby, there's no hurry, as long as you take my hand. We can dance and I won't be the one to let you go. There's no care tonight. Take me for a ride. Even when the stars have a light, even when it's dark and you lose your mind. Whoa, whoa, right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I will stay in the madness with you. Oh, now you're so crazy. Oh, I'm crazy too. Right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I
Welcome back to the broadcast. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Healthy Love right here on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. The sound of Royce in the background track called Madness. And boy, how things can get crazy around here. I'll say thank you to Althea once again for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast. Althea is a licensed massage therapist that comes to you operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you, so call her up 954-655-9000. I also want to mention, coming up on Sunday, that's the 6th of March, Call Me Neri, the live performance happening inside the Blue Martini down at the Galleria Mall. It features live music by Neri, backed by the Visions Band. DJ Mikey Mike will be on deck. Blue Martini is at 2432 East Sunrise Boulevard. That's 2432 East Sunrise Boulevard. You want to be there around about 8:30. That's when the festivities kick off. It's a Sunday night, so you know, work Monday morning. I don't want to go too late, right? The Sound of Royce, a track called Madness. And believe me, there's some madness going on around us. And in this case, it's the madness of this infant formula that apparently is quite deadly. So, according to the CDC, getting sick from Chronobacter does not happen often. But infections in infants can be deadly. So, is there anything that we can do to protect our children from getting this deadly virus? Well, first of all, Chronobacter sakazaki, formerly known as Enterobacter sakazaki, is a germ found naturally in the environment. The germs can live in dry foods such as powdered infant formula, powdered milk, herbal teas, and starches. Chronobacter can cause diarrhea and urinary tract infections in people of all ages, but infection can be very serious in infants. Chronobacter infections are rare, but they can be deadly in newborns. Infections in infants usually occur in the first days or weeks of life. About 2 to 4 cases are reported to the CDC every year. But this figure may not reflect the true number of illnesses because most hospitals and labs are not required to report Chronobacter infections to health departments. Pause. So, help me understand this. Anyone, if you will. 773-789-STEW gets you in touch. 773-789-7839. Here it is. You have this germ. It occurs naturally in the environment, which is probably why there isn't a patent on it. But okay, let's continue. It can be deadly to newborns. Anybody at any age can get it. However, labs and hospitals, the places where it would be diagnosed, these places are not required to report any of these infections. So, how then did this get to the news for this recall to happen? Somebody had to have talked. Now, I guess the question now becomes, why did they talk? What's going on there? Anyway, Chronobacter germs can cause a dangerous blood infection or sepsis, or make the linings around the brain and spinal cord swell, meningitis. Infants 2 months of age and younger are most likely to develop meningitis if they get sick from Chronobacter. Other infants more likely to get sick are those born prematurely and those less able to fight germs and sickness because of illness or medical treatment, such as infants receiving chemotherapy for cancer. Pause again. Notice, I want people to pay attention to what is not said as much as what is said. Infants more likely to get sick are those born prematurely and those less able to fight germs and sickness. Then they tack on because of illness or medical treatment. What about the children, the infants, who have difficulty fighting germs and sickness because of a lack of nutrition? What about those? The ones that, and I may sound like a broken record, but fine. Skip me if you don't want to hear it. What about those that are not breastfed? Because pretty much just about any mother that you can think of, and regardless of what they're going through, even with coming into this coronavirus coming into play, even a COVID-19 positive mother can successfully breastfeed their child, and that child benefit in a great way from this breast milk. We're talking about the nutrients necessary to start the process of an immune system, a healthy immune system. It starts with breastfeeding. These are the building blocks of a strong, healthy individual. But we're giving them formula. Why are we eliminating the mothers? What are we trying to do? So here it is. We're raising a nation of sick individuals. Why? So that pharmaceuticals can thrive? So it's all about the almighty dollar. This is what somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody tell me that I'm on the wrong path. Somebody tell me that I'm grasping at straws. Somebody tell me something other than what I am coming up with, reading the very information that I'm presented with by the CDC, by the FDA, by the news outlets. It's right here. It's in front of us. It's in black and white. You don't have to take my word for it. You can go look it up yourself. That's how I found it. Because yet again, my job is not to satisfy your hunger. I'm here to stimulate your appetite. So, if this doesn't leave a bad taste in your mouth, I don't know what will. Here it is. Based on their own words. Other infants more likely to get sick are those born prematurely and those less able to fight germs and sickness. Why are we not giving our children a fighting chance? Clearly, the formula is not the fighting chance that they need. Because the same formula is killing them off. And some may argue, but you're talking about, what, 4 children versus how many children that successfully got the formula and have grown up to be healthy adults. How do you know? How do you know what they have gone through? They're not required to report on the cases of Chronobacter. So anybody could have had Chronobacter Sakazaki and nobody knows. They're not required to report it. The labs are not required. The hospitals are not required. So a doctor's office is definitely not going to report it because it's not required. Anyway, let me get off my soapbox and continue giving you the information. The first symptom of Chronobacter infection in infants is usually a fever. Well, that's not so uncommon. Then that is accompanied by poor feeding, crying, or very low energy. None of those things are uncommon. So it could just be labeled as the child is not well. Simply. Not that the child is severely ill or potentially severely ill, but the child is not well. Go give them some Tylenol, children, some acetaminophen, and call it a day. Watch them. Keep them cool. It'll, it's a fever, which means that they have some type of a virus. The fever is doing what it's supposed to do. It'll wear off. Did the child get their shots? Oh, they didn't get all their shots. Let's boost them up. And then there's that. So the first symptoms are common infant sick symptoms. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing standing out. How then do they know that the child has Chronobacter Sakazaki? How? From doing tests. Chronobacter infection can be serious for older people and for people whose immune systems are weakened by other illnesses or conditions, such as HIV, organ transplants, or cancer. Something important to note. Also, you want to know that individuals with weakened systems end up that way potentially because they started out that way. They didn't get the nutrition they needed as a child. They didn't get exposed to certain things as children. But, my soapbox. So, according to the CDC, there are some guidelines to protect your baby from Chronobacter. Interestingly enough, the very first thing on this list of guidelines is breastfeeding. But yet still, we don't have a system in place for new mothers to effectively be able to breastfeed. Even the ones that express the milk and leave it with their caretaker, the baby's caretaker, so that the baby can have breast milk, because it can be kept in the freezer for extended periods of time. So even if you have to express it, moms have to express the breast milk, keep it in bottles, freeze it, and then give it to the child as needs be. Take a pump with them to work. Every employer should have facilities for the breastfeeding mother. And you can check it out. Every employer should have that facility available. I'm not just saying it that it should be a thing. No, it's on the books. Every employer should have that available for their breastfeeding mothers. If they don't, then that's a problem. Again, where is the most important resource that we're protecting? Is it the bank account? That bank account is not getting fat without the human resource. Again, it comes back to that. The basics of it all. So, breastfeeding is the first on the list. One of the best things you can do for your baby's health and development is to breastfeed them. Among its benefits, preventing different kinds of infections, pay attention, preventing different kinds of infections, such as ear and respiratory infections, and very few cases of Chronobacter infections have been reported among infants fed only breast milk. Well, where would they be getting it from? Yes, it occurs naturally in the environment. But based on where individuals would normally get infected with Chronobacter, where would the breastfeeding infant get it? Number 2. Clean, sanitize, and store feeding items and breast pump parts safely. You can help prevent contamination with germs and keep the milk you feed your baby safe by carefully cleaning, sanitizing, and storing your baby bottles, your breast pump parts, and other feeding items. Number 3, third one on the list. Consider using liquid formula when possible. Oh, so there's an alternative to the powdered formula that can potentially have this Chronobacter bacteria. Huh. Who would have thunk it? But still, not as effective as mother's milk. If your baby gets formula, consider using formula sold as a liquid rather than a powder. This is essentially important when your baby is less than 3 months old, or if your baby was born prematurely or has a weakened immune system. Liquid infant formula is made to be sterile without germs. That's what sterile is. And should not transmit Chronobacter infection when handled carefully. Powdered formula is not sterile. However, it is easier for one to get powdered formula than for one to get liquid formula. Correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe it is also cheaper to get powdered formula than to get liquid formula. So yet again, the struggle is real. Infant formula does not need to be warmed before feeding, but some people like to warm their baby's bottle. If you do decide to warm the bottle, never use a microwave. Microwaves heat milk and food unevenly, resulting in hot spots that can burn your baby's mouth and throat. That's why you shake it up when you're done. But anyway, and I remember doing this as a young father, warming the bottle in a pot on the stove. But just put on a pot, get the water hot, drop the bottle in the pot, and make it warm up that way. You don't have to boil the water like that. Things you learn. And then you have bottle warmers, electric bottle warmers. You pour the water in the little thing, you plug it in, you turn it on, you put the bottle in it, boom, bang, bing. Milk is warm, or formula is warm. Preferably milk is warmed. Next one on the list. Prepare and store powdered infant formula safely. Okay, so they start off with, and it's an interesting thing about how lists are done. Because the very first thing on the list will more than likely be the thing that is forgotten quickest. Why? Because you have other things coming down the pike, and then you get to the end of the list, you're going to be focusing on what you last heard. Typically, that's what happens, right? So here's this one that is on the list that is close to the end. Prepare and store powdered infant formula safely. Wait, why wasn't that up on the top of the list so that you can remember the more important thing later? Is it by design? I don't know. Don't say, well, Stuart, I've already been called a conspiracy theorist. So, if you want to jump on the wagon, feel free, there's space. Make sure that your formula is not expired or recalled and that the container is in good condition. Keep powdered formula lids and scoops clean and close containers of formula as soon as possible. In most cases, it is safe to mix powdered infant formula with following manufacturer's instructions. But if your baby is less than 3 months old, was born prematurely, or has weakened immune system, you may want to take some extra steps to prepare your formula with hot water to protect against Chronobacter. Look at that. You want to clean work surfaces such as countertops and sink, boil water and let it cool for about 5 minutes, pour into a clean bottle or feeding cup, add the exact amount of formula listed on the container and carefully shake the capped bottle rather than stirring the mixture. To use right away, cool the formula to body temperature to ensure it is not too hot before feeding your baby. Run the prepared capped bottle under cool water or place it in an ice bath. Do not let the cooling water get into the bottle or on the nipple. Before feeding the baby, test the formula's temperature by putting a few drops on the inside of your wrist. It should feel warm, not hot. Use prepared infant formula within 1 hour from start of feeding and within 2 hours of preparing it. If your baby does not finish the entire bottle of formula, throw away leftover formula. And that has been a struggle for a lot of parents too, because they can't afford the formula to begin with, and the baby doesn't finish it. They make too much because they're thinking about maximizing the time that they have available, because they're working 3 jobs and they're feeding the baby in between the second and the third one, and they're trying to make the best of the situation they have. Struggling. So what do we end up with? We end up with the powdered formula being the quick and easy way to get it done. And where do we end up? At the funeral home with our babies. Sad, isn't it? Last one on the list. Keep hands clean. Always wash your hands carefully with soap and water during key times. You see, again, important information. These are things that you want to keep in the forefront of your mind. Always keep your hands clean. Preparing the bottles and the food for your baby, touching your baby's mouth before touching pacifiers and other things that go into your baby's mouth, after using the toilet or changing diapers. You know, wash your hands. Keep them clean. It's something that we talk about all the time. It's personal care 101. Use soap, wash up lather up to your wrist, rinse. Don't put your hand on the tap to turn it off. If you can use your elbow, if it's that lever tap, if you have to, there's a knob and you have to turn it, go ahead and get your paper towels, preferably paper towels, because you're not reusing. So use a paper towel and you discard it. So use a paper towel, dry your hand, turn off the tap, throw it away. Boom, bang, bing, you're clean. But time doesn't allow, and sometimes we rush through things and we end up getting our children sick. Now, the manufacturers of the formula is not going to claim responsibility when you have not been doing your due diligence in making sure that your preparation practices are right. And me as a business owner, I wouldn't be taking responsibility for it either. How about just not do it? How about take that child and stick it to your chest, ladies? So beneficial. It's beneficial to both the child and the mother to be breastfeeding. Can I emphasize it enough? I probably can't. We're gonna take another break. When we come back, we'll look at some toxic ingredients to avoid in baby formula. I don't know how many of us are involved when it comes to reading labels, but let's see if I'm gonna see if I can squeeze in that bit of information along with the risks of not breastfeeding for mothers and infants. I don't know. We'll see. When we come back, we talk a little bit more and share some more information. It's the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, Healthy Love Night. We'll be right back. Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
Making great music is one thing, sharing it with the world, that's another. Let the professionals at Reggae Global Entertainment help you to another level. Specializing in artist management, booking, public relations and marketing, and promotion, Reggae Global Entertainment can help you with event planning, websites, photography, and video production, press releases, legal services, and graphic design. They can even help you with music production, so you can get the sound that you want every time. Call Reggae Global Entertainment at 954-804-8199. That's 804-8199. Or visit them online at reggaeglobalentertainment.com. Teddy Greaves Jr. with 6 brand new songs out now on his brand new EP, Teddy Greaves Jr. with songs you know and love like Can You Stop the Rain? One Last Cry. Can't Get Over You. Wait Too Long. You and I. And One Last Cry, the acoustic version. Teddy Greaves Jr. Now available on all major digital platforms. Teddy Greaves Jr.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
It's Christine representing for DJ Kevin. You see me, I say, I don't know the boss. You see me, I say, DJ Kevin's Chew and the night shift radio show. Yo, the thing, turn up the thing loud. Whoa, DJ Kevin's Chew at the heart of a champion. Never underestimate, just choose him. The silver line behind the dark clouds. DJ Kevin's Chew believing, and that's no doubt. Salute the night shift radio show, Christine. It's a heart to talk. Loud. Kill the beast.
Give us the weapon to keep them quiet, so that we could keep on moving and no cause no riot. Sing it. Oh, 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 oh. rock, stone, and sling. Break down their walls, the wicked them must fall. Just work hard, keep the faith, 'cause Jah is with us all. Oh, my God will never let us down. Sing it one more time now.
The sound of the Twiggerific one.
The Lord is my life.
Twiggy.
Whom shall I fear?
Track called Never Let Us Down.
Never let us down. The enemy can't defeat us, no way.
I posted a picture on social media last night.
All that they
I went and
when my God are ready,
where is it?
this gotta know. No, no, no.
Here it is.
My God will never let.
I went and I have this pink clay mask. Because, you know, some of you may know by now, or most of you may know by now, that I'm a Mary Kay consultant, right?
When we're disobedient.
So I put on the pink clay on my face last night.
We don't fall.
Did a little bit of a personal pampering session, you know?
Give us the weapon to keep them quiet. So no we
Took a picture, shared it on social media.
and don't cause no riot. Sing it.
Some of you might know my story about getting involved with the DJ side of music. And my Uncle Marlon.
Us down. Sing it one more time.
So I posted my picture on social media, and my Uncle Marlon goes, wait, got bleach.
My God will never let us down.
No, I'm not.
Be not afraid. Rise, please.
I said it's just a clay mask.
Us and now.
And he goes, yeah man,
Break
I'm a bleach.
the wicked them must fall.
Leave it to my uncle. I love my Uncle Marlon, you know, trust me. We're more like brothers than we are nephew and uncle.
My God will never let us down. Sing it.
Twiggy came to my rescue saying, you know,
The Lord is my life.
men need to take care of their skin too. That's awesome. Thank you, Twiggy.
My God will never let us down. The enemy can't defeat us, no way. The enemy cannot beat us, no way. All that
As we come back to the broadcast, though,
when my God are
looking at the matter at hand.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying the chuckle at my expense, cause I say big ups to my cousin out to Jamaica,
God will never let us down.
rolling in laughter in the stew pot. I say that's why I have to love my family, you know. Thank you to Reggae Global Entertainment for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast. Coming up a little bit later on from now, we're gonna jump into musical therapy. But to finish up my story, you know, I posted the clay and made sure to put a link so that people can reach out to me if they want to get some pink clay for themselves, you know.
Just work hard.
Let's talk. Let's arrange how you can get yours. And no, it is not a bleaching agent. I got into Mary Kay for the skincare products because it's all about a part of the overall healthcare, right?
The Lord is my light. Whom shall I fear?
But tonight we're not talking about skincare. We're talking about infant care. And in this case, the formula for infant death, the infant formula recall, and why it was done. So I said before I went off on the break, I said we're gonna look real quickly at some toxic ingredients to avoid in baby formula. Now, why exactly these ingredients are in baby formula, I don't know. But they're there nonetheless. And so, what should we be avoiding? Now, this is as according to my organic company. And they say breastfeeding provides a multitude of health benefits for both babies and their mothers, but not everybody is able to or wants to breastfeed. When breastfeeding is a challenge for one reason or another and it is not available, baby formula can step in as an alternative to mother's milk. All right, as just in a little bit of a exchange by text as we were on the break. And someone said to me, some mothers cannot produce milk, so they turn to formula. My thing is, why? Because there's always a why, right? And just like they're saying here, for various reasons, but the response was health, anxiety, exhaustion, pain from C-sections, sore or bleeding nipples, baby not attaching, poor diet. Cool, I get it. But these are things that you can work on. It doesn't have to be the end all. I guess in some cases it is. What can we do about it? I don't know. I'm not a mother, and I had started doing a series with a lactation nurse, and I'm hoping to restart that series, get back on that, because these are some of the things that were addressed by Dr. Lexi, and these are some of the things that I can still be educated about. I have no intent of being in a position where I'm working with anyone breastfeeding, but it might happen. I have nieces, I have goddaughters. It can happen. I have friends. So the information, everybody gets information, and everybody can be a teacher and be taught. So what are we looking at as things to avoid in infant formula? Heavy metals, not the bands. Well, you might want to avoid them when feeding baby, but heavy metals. In the United States, recent studies found that many popular baby food products contain a surprisingly high amount of dangerous heavy metals, including arsenic, cadmium, and lead. Why? Why are they in the baby formula? These heavy metals are found naturally in all soil, but without proper regulations, these toxins go unfiltered and can be harmful to the development of a baby. Well, I guess that would be why, because they're in the soil. Well, if you're operating a system that you're using soil, because you're using natural products, you're farming, and you're bringing the product into the lab and creating these, then you should have things in place to neutralize those heavy metals, right? Heavy metals have been especially linked to effects on the developing infant, mind, brain, cardiovascular system, and the immune system. We know this. Is what I'm saying? It's information that is out there. Melamine, not melanin, melamine, melamine, or melamine. Over 300,000 infants have been victims of melamine overdosed baby formula. Melamine is rich in nitrogen and widely used in processing of plastics and adhesives. Why is it in baby formula? In America, it is used to spike milk production in dairy cows. The milk is then found in formula with the toxin attached. Again, why are we drinking cow's milk anyway? I grew up on cow's milk, but that was also at a time when cow's milk was still pretty much cow's milk. Now, what's this now? Questionable milk. Anyway, next on the list is soy. When a milk protein allergy or sensitivity occurs in infant, parents tend to avoid milk-based formula and choose a soy-based baby formula. With exception of medical urgency, soy formula is not recommended. Now, I had to deal with this because my boy is being lactose intolerant. So that was an issue. And the first one didn't really latch on. The second one couldn't get enough. But even so, even though he couldn't latch on, we pumped a lot. And so he still got the breast milk. The reason soy formula should be used only as a last resort is threefold: phytoestrogen, phytic acid, and genistein. These compounds can flood the infants with hormones, block important nutrients, and create long-term implications like developmental problems causing puberty for boys and early adolescence for girls. You notice our girls are having their cycles a whole lot earlier. Some of them 8 and 9-year-olds saying, hey, listen, mommy, something is wrong. And then you all of a sudden have to have a talk that you weren't ready for. Next on the list, gluten. Gluten is a type of bread-based grain protein. It is found in many foods including rye, wheat, barley, and some breads and snacks. Within the first year, babies' digestive systems cannot tolerate the harsh gluten protein, and it can lead to severe constipation, abdominal pain, and for up to 6% of the population, long-term health problems. It's almost like every second person you come across today have a GI issue. But we're not even going to get into that either. Mineral oil is another thing that you should avoid having in your infant formula. Contamination of infant formula by aromatic mineral oil hydrocarbons has been in the news quite recently. Used in production, this high alkaline mixture can cause diarrhea, poor absorption of nutrients, and dehydration in infants. Then your preservatives, which is found in just about everything we consume. Preservatives are used to keep baby formula from spoiling, so it will have longer shelf life. Again, things that would encourage something like Chronobacter. Anyway, nothing about preservatives is natural, and it has been known to aggravate food allergies in infants. You may see preservatives by the name sulfur dioxide and additives on baby formula cans, so read your baby formula package carefully. Now, the next, which is best known for treating anemia, is fall iron. Like falls iron, it's F-A-U-X though. Fox iron, some people call it. This mineral can be found naturally. Now, iron is great to have as an ingredient in baby formula, but not the fall iron or fox iron, as some people may call it. This electrolyte is often found in fortified powder form. It is underregulated and overused in American baby formulas. Regular ingestion can cause digestive worries at the least and long-term cardiovascular problems on the other end. Worst case scenario. So again, here we go again. We know the problems that these things can cause. Why is it that we're putting our children in harm's way? Why are we allowing manufacturers to put our children in harm's way? Because if we don't buy the product, then they're forced to present a different product. So we can't say we're going to stop them from making. Yeah, we can say actually that we're going to stop them from making it by not purchasing it. That way, they're going to have to purchase something. They're going to have to manufacture something else. They're going to have to use other ingredients. So here it is. You have this false iron that can cause digestive worries or cardiovascular problems. Again, we are formulating sick individuals by giving them these formulas that have these products in them that are no good. Next on the list is one very popular one, corn syrup or sugar. I don't know why they say or sugar because they're not quite the same. Anyway, these highly addictive ingredients are almost unavoidable in most of American baby formulas. Some research suggests the sugar content in American baby formula may be as high as that found in sugary soft drinks. We're starting them off behind the 8-ball. Corn syrup, sometimes known as glucose syrup, contains mostly cornstarch, like sugar. It is high in carbohydrates and calories and has very little nutritional value. Need I say more? How many times have I talked about that? Infants that consume sugar or corn syrup regularly risk a lifetime of health problems. Lifetime of health problems. Can you say lifetime of pharmaceuticals? You see how they connect? But I'm the conspiracy theorist, right? Information is there. It's not about what is written, it's about what is not. Well, sometimes. Now, these sugars have been associated with the development of many diseases and medical conditions, including heart disease, metabolic syndrome, and type 2 diabetes. Not new information by any stretch of the imagination. Hi, Mickey, by the way. I heard you're over there mocking me. Yeah, it is said imitation is the best form of flattery. So I'm quite flattered that you're mocking me. I love you anyway. Next on the list, genetically modified ingredients. We talk about GMOs all the time. One of the most dangerous things that can end up on our plate, right? But here it is, we're putting it in our babies. Countries around the world are passing laws against GMOs. And many of the regulations have specifically targeted infant nutrition. America, for some reason, who is always on top of things, America is far behind. I kind of have to wonder, why is America so far behind? I'm what's it called? I remember now. Just queuing up something here for musical therapy because I'm going to be done presenting this information in a little bit. So America has been slow to follow with the banning of genetically modified foods for some reason. GMOs have been associated with, pay attention, short list, dangerous though, cancer, organ failure, and birth defects. However, GMOs are one of the most popular things on our shelves and one of the most readily available. Why? So that we can create an environment of sick individuals so that we can boost our pockets with pharmaceuticals or from pharmaceuticals. Lastly, but by no means least, of course, on this list is synthetic nutrients. Now, American formula is laden with synthetic nutrients. It's all pretty much synthetic nutrients. These ingredients are neurotoxic and processed with harmful chemicals that are known as carcinogens. So we're poisoning our future, literally. Common toxic ingredients labeled as so-called nutrients are lycopene, lutein, taurine, L-methionine, that's L-methionine. Am I adding some letters in this? No, it's L-methionine and nucleotides. Where am I? Here we go. To be clear, these ingredients can come from natural ingredients or be created in a lab. This is why it's important to ask where the source of each ingredient is if you do see them inside your baby's formula or baby food. Infants given these cheap synthetic fillers are prone to suffer from chronic disease as they grow up. All right, this takes us back to where we started, doesn't it? With Chronobacter. And this is what we find in our American baby formula. Now, with toxic ingredients in nearly all of American baby formulas, is it any wonder European baby formula has become so popular? European infant nutrition regulations go above and beyond FDA guidelines. Strict rules and ordinances are put into place and frequently monitored to ensure the safety of European baby formulas. Why isn't America doing the same thing? European baby formulas are sourced from certified farms that take the entire ecosystem into consideration. Parents will never find pesticides, chemical fertilizers, or genetic modifications at any part of the process from planting to manufacturing. What you will find is family-owned and operated companies that put infant nutrition first. The organic ingredients in European baby formula nourishes your little one from head to toe. European formulas are full of pure and simple ingredients that start with 100% grass-fed milk and end with formula as close to breast milk as possible. You have, oh my goodness, you have the cleanest baby formula, you have the cleanest alternative baby formula, you have the nutrition that matters. Oh my goodness. You don't find these things in as American manufactured. They're European formulas. So you notice something else. I touched on this a couple weeks ago. There are two countries out of the 195 countries in the world. There are two countries that advertise pharmaceuticals: the USA and New Zealand. Two. And the US has these kind of baby formulas that don't meet the standard of Europe's baby formulas. But yet still, we are going to be advertising on a regular. We're going to be advertising so much so that it is a part of our daily lives, our routine, we're advertising pharmaceuticals. Well, we have to advertise pharmaceuticals a lot because this is what we're putting in our children. We're starting them off sick. We're starting our children sick because we're giving them sick formula, or we're making their mothers sick. So the breastfeeding process is strained. It's difficult. The U.S. National Library of Medicine has information on the risks of not breastfeeding for mothers and infants. I'm going to encourage anyone that is listening to this broadcast, whether you're listening live or you're listening by way of the recorded rebroadcast, whether on YouTube or on podcast, by way of podcast. And by the way, this podcast is available anywhere you listen to your podcasts. So the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew, it's available everywhere you listen to your podcast. You can check it out, but you don't even have to go searching for it. Just go to kevinstew.com. The podcast is there. The video archive is there. It's your one stop. You can listen to it there. You can watch it there. You can do everything right there. You can reach out to me from kevinstew.com. So, real quickly, let me give you the abstract from this article. Health outcomes is in developed countries differ substantially for mothers and infants who formula feed compared with those who breastfeed. For infants, not being breastfed is associated with an increased incidence of infectious morbidity, as well as an elevated risk of childhood obesity type 1 and type 2 diabetes, leukemia, and sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. For mothers, failure to breastfeed is associated with an increased incidence of premenopausal breast cancer, ovarian cancer, retained gestational weight, type 2 diabetes, mitochondrial infraction, and the metabolic syndrome. Obstetricians are uniquely positioned to counsel mothers about the health impact of breastfeeding and to ensure that mothers and infants receive appropriate evidence-based care starting at birth. But in the United States, starting at birth, we're making our children sick. In today's USA, in today's healthcare, when you have formula being the first thing that a child is being given, when you have a needle ready days after a child is born to inject them with some foreign substance before they can even have a chance to develop some type of immunity, we're starting our children off behind the 8 ball. We're starting them off sick. When the food that we have available to us is so far from natural, it's ridiculous. We're starting our children off sick.
Now here comes another musical transmission. Roots of operation intelligent rebellion. Man called Martin Did alongside the president down in Tower Man, talking to the nation.
As we get into musical therapy, the son of Marty Dread working out with President Brown.
We're living in a crucial time.
It's called No to Monsanto.
Serious decline. Not to mention the war and crime. Millions of people in need.
This is the Matt Neal Trucking musical therapy segment.
Couple that with their corporate greed. Monopolizing the food we eat. Time for the people to see. politicians got no common sense. They're sowing seeds of pestilence. Revolution is sure to follow. So we are here to say it's time to go. You and your buddy GMO. It may be the David and Goliath thing. We will protest and we will sing. No, no, say no.
No to Monsanto. Everybody say no, no, no to Monsanto.
I hear my people say.
We say no, no, no to Monsanto. Everybody say no, no, no to Monsanto.
They got it go. They got to open sound. Chant them down. No David's no Goliath with a sling and a stone. Songs of rebellion. Play this on the station. Inform the nation. Rock the situation. Call to action. Immediate attention is needed. Together as one. We the people got the right to live. People want to live without being a science project or a guinea pig. They say no food shall be grown that they don't own. We come together, chant them down.
We say no, no, no to Monsanto. Everybody say no, no, no to Monsanto.
When you live in the ghetto, to be degraded seems so normal. Don't underestimate my ghetto morals. Encourage intellectual statistics from the ghetto. I'm artistic.
Out to the sound of Marty Dread working out with President Brown.
Now go make the ghetto when me come.
This is JQ.
Now go make the system the
Track called Ghetto Morals.
flowers that grows in the ghetto. Those more about survival than the ones from the meadow. United we stand, but divided we can fall. What is wrong with this economy and their ideologies? Read your mind of racial segregation. Read your mind of racial segregation. Real birds are like a almime, so me rhyme so prolific. I'm highly cultivated, so now watch the image. Me not gonna make the ghetto when me come from define me. Not gonna make the system deprive me. When you live in the ghetto, to be degraded seems so normal. Don't underestimate my ghetto morals. Encourage intellectual statistics from the ghetto. I'm artistic, paint a brighter picture for my future. Whoa. My ghetto morals. When you live in the ghetto, to be degraded seems so normal. Don't underestimate my ghetto morals. Encourage intellectual statistics from the ghetto. I'm artistic, painting a brighter picture for my future. Not because my born in the ghetto, me not there, so me I go stay. The future belongs to the ones who prepare from today. A hustler in the ghetto, that is what I got to be, to fight the odds and free myself from the heart of poverty. When you live in the ghetto, to be degraded seems so normal. Don't underestimate my ghetto morals. Encourage intellectual statistics from the ghetto. I'm artistic, painting a brighter picture for my future.
The track is called Ghetto Morals.
Live in the ghetto.
Her name is JQ.
When you live in the ghetto.
If you can't hear, you must have to feel, must have to feel. Can't hear, you must have to feel. So take it. If you can't hear, you
This is the pen himself,
must have to feel.
Popton Lindo.
You must have to feel.
Working out with Sly and the dearly departed Robbie Shakespeare. Track called Hard Years.
For Babylon, turn up the heat. You better change your ways. If you want to see longer days. Time to stop one rule. Before killing, come down your food. Stick must be broken out your ears, make
can't hear. I chat about you a youngster and no ear. Young but you no know no star. Prison life and no fault alone. Gunshot a lick and it no respect no one, so you better change your direction before you end up in a police station or a worse situation. Yes, better change your ways. Yes, if you want to see longer days. Yes, time to come off of the street before Babylon turn up the heat. Yes, you better change your ways. Yes, if you want to see longer days. Yes, time to stop one rude before killy come down your food. Beat up your family, refusing to quit. Read over blood money, tell me is it worth it? I chat about you a bad boy, hey, and I ride like a cowboy. But time longer than road, don't take it for joke. Check yourself before you wreck yourself and watch what you spoke. It's not too late to take advice, so listen to the words of the wise. Hey, yes. Better change your ways. Yes, if you want to see longer days. Yes, time to come off on the street before Babylon turn up the heat. Yes, better change your ways.
Track is called Hard Ears. The sound of Hope and the Pen Lindo.
Loud the lion make him roar. Goodness and mercy follow I.
Lion not even make a full roar.
By the most high. Yeah. You can't kill me dream. You can't stop me hustle. You fight where you want, fight it just build up me muscle. Cause you can't kill me dream. You'll never stop me hustle. No way. No way, no. Tell you say you can't kill me dream. You can't stop me hustle, darling. Fight you or fight it just build up me muscle. Cause you can't kill me dream. You'll never stop me.
The sound of Korik, track called Can't Kill My Dream. But before we get too deep into this, I have a call on the line. Hello.
Hello, DJ. How's it going?
The one and only Dr. Lexi. Is this really you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Oh, geez, from last year I'm gonna talk to you, boy.
Life to life. It's all as well.
Excellent. Good to know. Thank you for chiming in on a night like this. You know, as I was addressing this killer infant formula, the infant formula recall as a result of this child death being linked to it. It's just crazy, and I couldn't stress enough breastfeeding. So
yeah.
It's awesome that I get to hear from you on a night like this.
Yes, I'm a big breastfeeding advocate.
Yes.
And, the dangers of formula, even in this day and age, are real, as evident by the latest events that have transpired. And
Yes.
Unfortunately, someone's life had to be lost just for it to make national news that formula is not safe.
But, the most mind-blowing thing about the whole thing for me is they don't have to report it.
Well, it's a good thing that they did. It's goodwill, because more and more people, if the kids got sick, then it would be a huge class action lawsuit. So it's better to get ahead than to keep silent. It's also good branding and PR that you care for the consumer. So formula has its place. Not every child will be able to breastfeed, unfortunately, but there are several dangers that exist for formula-fed infants and toddlers that do not exist if you are breastfeeding.
Right,
For example, if you prepare a bottle, most people don't read the instructions where it says that one, you need to have clean hands
Yeah.
when taking out the formula, the powder,
Mhm.
and you must consume the powder once it's been the infant
Once you make
formula
it.
once it's been mixed. It needs to be consumed within an hour, because
Right.
you run the risk of different types of infections.
Right.
Versus breast milk can be expressed and left out at room temperature for up to 4 hours.
Mhm.
And it can be left in the fridge for up to 4 days. Freshly breastfed, express milk.
Breast milk and frozen for how long?
Frozen can stay up to a year, depending on the type of freezer.
There you go.
Yeah. So you don't have to latch if you don't feel like latching the baby to you, which is also known as chest feeding. You can
Mhm.
always express and put it in a bottle, do a spoon, do a different supplemental. There are different ways to ensure your child has breast milk and not necessarily have to rely on formula. And this is kind of funny is not the right word, but it's like an aha moment. Several weeks ago, there was a formula shortage,
Mm.
and now you hear that there's a recall because of some type of contamination.
Right.
So it goes to show you that we need to invest more in maternal health and having means for mothers to be able to breastfeed at work, well, pump, which is by law a legal requirement that all employers provide us private space and a separate fridge for moms to be able to express, and also provide the time for her to go and express,
Mhm.
as well as to provide a more robust parental leave act, so that both mothers and fathers can stay home and tend to their children during the critical points of their life, especially in the first year. Moms need to be able to stay home. I'm a big proponent for a year, but at least 6 months, because 6 months is around the time where you start transitioning into solid food. So the infant's dietary requirements for breast milk, or if you're formula feeding or both,
Mhm.
is less, because now solids
Are being introduced.
are being
Yeah.
introduced. So it makes it a little bit easier.
You see,
Yeah.
I'm glad you gave us a quick call to remind us about some of these things, Dr. Alex. So your spot is still here. It hasn't gone anywhere. We're just waiting for you to get back in the saddle and ride.
Yes, yes. I'll be back soon. But I do want to offer your listeners a free promotion for those who want to be pregnant, are currently pregnant, want to breastfeed, learn more about breastfeeding,
Mhm.
those who recently had a baby, or even those who adopt and would like to try to breastfeed. I am offering free classes for this month. They're all virtual. The app that I use to do my scheduling is down, so you'd have to go on my Instagram page and send me a DM, and I will send you instructions on how to register.
And what
So
is that page, Dr. Alexi?
you can find me on Instagram at fourth trimester NP. So that's the number 4th trimester, N as a nurse, P as in practitioner. So fourth trimester NP on Instagram.
Excellent. I thank you much. I have to wrap up this broadcast, but next time don't wait till the end in musical therapy to give some much needed information, please. I know you're
I
busy over there, but
Yes, I've been very busy. I'm sorry, but I will try not to wait until the last moment again.
okay. Thank you much. Have yourself a great night, Dr. Alexi. It's good to hear from you again. We'll
Yeah,
be in
you
touch.
too. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
All right. Good night.
Now the lion make him roar. Goodness and mercy shall follow
I can't get over the fact that this lion sounds like a dog barking. I want to thank you all for tuning in.
You can't kill me dream. You can't.
As we part company, remember, rest is best. Because for members of your community, remember your community is not just development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. Whether you walk, ride or drive, take the bus, the plane, the boat or the train, whether the people you pass along the way, these are all members of your community. Do something good for them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Stew. I want to thank my affiliates, Island Worldwide, NIE Radio, WGLRO, Aliwap Radio, Dusik Media Groups, Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com, One Harmony Radio, PEMGTV.com. Thank you all. Truly appreciate love every one of you. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you for wherever you are in the world from right here in South Florida. I bid you all a good night. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.